Hello, dear friends. So, my name is Jaydee, and welcome to Jaydee's Corner. So, in Jaydee's Corner, we talk about random stuffs, words that we find relevant to share to everyone. So, for this episode, we'll be talking about the word weakness. The word weakness is more often frowned upon or feared to talk about by a lot of people. Before we proceed, allow me to read a verse from the Bible. And he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you, for my strength is made perfect in weakness. This is 2 Corinthians 12:9. Do you occasionally pretend to be strong when you're not? Like many people, we are sometimes weak to admit our real feelings. We hide them under the guise of smile and say that we are fine, when in reality, we are not. Sometimes, when we carry our heavy burden in our heart, we want to hide it by trying to look good in the outside. Others disguise their weakness by being loud, obnoxious, and trying to prey on those who they thought are weak. There are a lot of people who tries to hide their weaknesses by preying on the others. When you actually prey on the others, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're strong. You're only saying or you're only showing that they're weaker than you. Um, but more often, those who you pray are the ones that have a different strength, different form of strength. Well, aren't we supposed to be strong? We used to believe that crying is a form of weakness. Weakness is frowned upon, especially if you're a man. We often look up and admire brownie, well built, and tough guys. Movie heroes played strong, resilient, and indestructible character, and fans adore them. I'd like to reiterate the word we used to. We used to believe that crying is a form of weakness. There was a time in our society that crying is really frowned upon, especially if you're a man and you cry. You'd hear the word, you're not man enough, you should man up. There's a certain expectation that a man should be, that the society has set, that they should be strong built, they should not cry. But I'm happy to say that there is a word there, a phrase that we used to believe. In the current society, at some point, we've accepted that crying is actually a form of accepting what you really feel or what you truly feel inside you, your emotions. And when you embrace your emotions, it's actually a form of strength. And it's, 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 it's something that allows men to be to express what they feel if they feel sad and if they feel lonely. Crying is an acceptable form of emotion, form of expression of emotion that does not depict weakness. Sometimes in your life, you meet people with domineering personalities. These are bullies who prey on your gentle, kind, or calm nature. But it is your job to show them that your good nature does not equate to weakness. The fact is, these predators need people they can dominate over because that makes them feel strong and important. To be gentle and kind and calm shows that you are strong as steel, incapable of being intimidated by bullies. There are a lot of bullies in this world, and there are a lot of stories also that these bullies are bullied at home. Example, you go to school and then you're being bullied. More often that the kid or the child that bullied you in school is affected or bullied at home, know, because of the form of power present to their parents, transferred to them, and because they cannot express their feelings to their parents, they try to domineer other people. They try to bully other people. And when they bully other people, they want to exercise their own power. When they exercise their power, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're strong. It only means, just like what I said a while ago, that you're weaker than them, or so they think. because um, your weakness actually amplifies your strength. When you identify your weakness, it helps you also strengthen your strength. In business, in the business industry, in the academe, there is what we call a SWOT analysis: strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Because when you identify your strength, when you identify your opportunities and threats, but you don't identify your weakness, this might be your point. This might be your breaking points when it comes to business or research. That's why you really need to know your weakness, and there's nothing wrong with knowing what your weaknesses are. On the other hand, recognizing your weakness is an opportunity to recover or discover or rediscover your strength. You can't do it on your own. The best way is to know where your strength is coming from. Where is your strength coming from? Right? We should embrace that we can say that our family could be the source of our strength, our friends, our loved ones, but more importantly, the source of our strength is God. We should acknowledge our weaknesses and surrender our weaknesses to the one that gives us strength. God has promised to give strength inside and out so you can overcome your weaknesses, fears, and insecurities. With His grace and power, you can overcome them. And no matter how many times you fall and fail, He is able to turn your weaknesses into strength. Surrender your weaknesses to God because He's going to definitely make your weakness your strength. Did you know that to admit your weakness is a mark of strength? When you weep, when you cry, when you show forms of weaknesses, it just means that you are showing your vulnerability as a human being and embracing the fact that we are not entirely strong. Everybody has their own weaknesses. Just like what I mentioned in the previous episode, that everybody has their own insecurities. We want to mitigate that insecurity. Likewise, the weaknesses. We can't entirely eradicate or remove these weaknesses that we have in us. What can we do? We can do is to work with our weaknesses, work with it, develop it, improve it, and use it as our strength. Most of the times, your strength are weakness of other people. The strength of other people are your weakness. That's why as a human being, we are social beings. We want to share strength and weaknesses that we have to other people. You know, I just want to highlight that uh, in our current society, the current society in the 21st century, embracing your weakness is actually already acceptable. Unlike the previous times, that you should be strong, you should be powerful. But at the 21st century, we are already accepting the fact that everybody has their own weaknesses, but everybody has their own strengths as well. When you know your weakness, you know where to work to, how to work to, and when to work to with these uh, weaknesses that you have in life. And no matter how you feel weak, always remember that you to surrender yourself to God. Because when you surrender yourself to God, He's going to transform that weakness into strength. A strength you cannot imagine. There are people that lost their parents. Example, that's their weaknesses. But the Lord turned that story and made a success story and turned that strength and turned that weaknesses to strength. There are a lot of stories of weakness to strength, from zero to hero. And shall we ask God that, dear Lord, help me be strong in weakness with your grace. Let us not depend our strength on our own, but let us surrender our weaknesses to God and turn it into strength. And let us surrender our strength as well to God. Okay, and the Lord is always there to strengthen us, to empower us. And again, this is JD's Corner. Thank you very much. I hope you are blessed. God be with you all.